Welcome to the Heart Place Hospital podcast, where we celebrate the incredible practitioners who make our community so special. And so today we're honoured to have the generous and talented Abby Mounter as our guest. So Abby, you're a valued service provider at Heart Place Hospital and a highly skilled kinesiologist with over 11 years of experience. Your healing journey began with your own health challenges, which led you to discover the transformative power of kinesiology in 2013. Since then, your passion for helping others has only deepened, inspiring you to become a teacher of this powerful modality. And in fact, we've had some of your students on our podcast.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. And in this episode, we're going to delve into the fascinating experiences with past life healing, how accidental regressions during your early training evolved into a profound transformative aspect of your work, which you're my kinesiologist, so I've experienced it myself. So we're going to talk about that. And as a dedicated contributor to Heart Place Hospital, you not only transform the lives of your clients, but also support our mission of bringing cutting-edge modalities to the community. So we're really excited to share this conversation with you all, and welcome, Abby.
Hey, thank you. I'm excited.
Me too, because I know your magic. Firsthand.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I guess the first kind of question is, if you could share with us how you got to this point, like what was your journey to get to this point?
And as you said, about my own healing journey. So a lot of health issues as a child, and then through my 20s, a lot of health issues, but also, issues with confidence, issues with stepping into my power, all those sorts of things. Were a big part to play in my healing journey. And so I worked in the film industry for 12 years, and that was a hard industry, and it was an industry that when you're hypersensitive, like I am, it was it was an industry that brought everything to the surface because it was a difficult place to work in. Beautiful industry, but just wasn't quite right for me. And so that really drove me into that. What else do I want to do, with my life? And I knew it was health related. And so I started going to a kinesiologist, Dr. Bill, back in the day. And that very first session it was like the lights went on, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. What is this? And I was going to him for a couple of years, and my health was improving, and all these things were starting to line up. And I said to him one day, I love this. I want to do this. Where do I go to learn kinesiology? And he directed me to Australia because at the time there was no one teaching it in New Zealand. So Kinesiology Connection in Melbourne is where I went, which I kind of made it hard for myself too because I didn't actually move to Melbourne. I lived in New Zealand and I flew to Melbourne once a month for class.
Wow.
For many, many years. So that was an interesting journey in itself. So
yeah, amazing. And these are the stories that I love sharing. It's this kind of pain to purpose. Your evolution has then created. You found a void, and so you've created, and then now rather than people flying to Australia once a month, they can come to you.
Exactly. Yeah.
The train. So I'm like absolutely itching for you to share more around this past life healing and the accidental regression that you've found and the transformation that's come from it. And I've experienced it, so I wonder if we could share with the listeners more about that.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it was Dr. Bill that in one of my sessions, there was a pattern that kept repeating itself. And I said, why can't I get on top of this pattern? And he said, oh, it's probably a past life. And again, the lights came on and it was like, what? And I think I knew about past lives, but somehow it related to me and my patterns, and it was like light bulb moment. So I started reading books, and I read a lot of Dr. Brian Weiss's books, who's a psychologist whose patients actually started spontaneously going into past life regressions until it became his life work. So fascinating books. So then, so I learnt that way to start off with. Then as a student, as a kinesiology student, some of my students started spontaneously recalling past lives. And one in particular, he came to me with a knee problem and real pain in his knee. And in the middle of a session, he just started recalling this past life, and even his eyes rolled back. And he was recalling it with such vivid detail of being on a horse, and he was a missionary, and he fell off his horse and he broke his leg really badly, and it had disrupted his mission in life. And while he was recounting this, I was seeing the visions playing out in front of me, and
Wow.
he was writhing in pain with his knee going, oh. And then it all resolved. And when he came out of that past life, the pain in his knee was gone. And I was like, wow, what just happened? He was teaching me
Yeah.
past life regression and how powerful it could be for even clearing physical pains in the present time.
Yeah. And this is where this is I love talking about this because obviously majority of our visitors are people who are givers, who are carers,
Mm.
and like it's ingrained in them, like it's ingrained in me, and so I know like a lot of work you and I do together is around my giving, but also receiving, and
Yes.
and so then we've uncovered lots of many places and spaces where that's occurred. So and you kind of get this aha moment.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, it's
find
a
it,
beautiful thing.
yeah, and I think you're right. It is incredibly transformational,
Mm.
and I love to share one session we did with each other, and my my body was sharing that I was giving it 100%, but receiving at 3%,
Mm.
which is not sustainable.
Yeah. Yeah.
And is possibly pretty common.
Yeah.
If I
Classic
talk to people.
empath and
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah.
yeah. And so we did some work there. We lifted that up to I think about 97%, and literally 2 days later, I received our biggest grant ever.
Yeah.
So I messaged you and Abby. So
Yeah.
like literally the shit works, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That's a great example. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 So it's so you're part of my healing roundtable, and of
Great.
course we introduce you to other people's healing roundtable because
Mm.
like it is there's so much we're so simple but so complex at the
Mm.
same time. So
Yes.
yeah, reaching out and grabbing these people with expertise. You've got lived experience, and now you've dedicated so much of your energy into then sharing it with others, which
Mm.
is phenomenal.
Mm.
And I'm loving this, like because we now have we're getting science and evidence. We've got it. It's just that it's been quashed and
Yeah.
silenced and tabooed. And now, like with Heart Place Hospital, we were able to bring it out,
Yeah.
actually show that the original OG is actually, is energy, is frequency, is nature. So it's really exciting.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
totally agree. Yeah.
yeah. So
Awesome.
I just wonder if we could do a little live demo for those who are watching this on YouTube,
Hmm.
and I'll put myself up.
Yep. Sure. Yep.
And just share with people what it would look like if they worked with you overline, online.
Online. Yep.
But of course, you also work with people in person as well at your
Yeah.
beautiful Waipo space.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, and so it works exactly the same. Tend to work with an energy being. So there are lots of beings that are available to be a surrogate. I don't like to use myself as a surrogate, an energy
Mhm.
surrogate. So I have the intention that I'm working, and I often work in front of me like an energy being is there, and they're your surrogate. So I'm calling that energy being in today. And then I can test through, I want to make sure that your brain and body are talking at the moment. So let's have a look what yours is saying. And it's coming up that you're dehydrated.
Oh.
Yeah. Which is one of the real keys to brain and body talking.
Mm,
Dehydration disconnects. So do you
mm.
want to drink a little water?
I will. Yeah.
And so the way that I'm muscle testing in clinic, I would normally be muscle testing the person and I'd be testing their arms. When I'm working remotely, I'm actually muscle testing with my fingers, which is like muscle testing you, just to
Yeah.
be clear on that. Yep.
Yeah.
All right, so that got you hydrated. Good. And your centering is out. Let's just have a look. And it's actually coming from your throat. So you've got a little floating bone in your throat called a hyoid. And when it's out, it can make you feel a little bit out of balance. Have you felt a bit out of balance at all, or off
Interesting.
center?
Yeah. I usually am a great sleeper, and last night I just I couldn't drop off to sleep. So I was sort
Ah,
of feeling like, oh, I'm not had my usual.
yep. Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, and I can actually see it's actually pushed a little bit down.
Hmm.
So I'm going to energetically hold it and I'm going to get you to swallow for me. There we go. That's got it. So that's got it back into place. So your equilibrium will be and centering will be a lot more centered. All right. So that's got all your centering switches, I call them, which means the brain and body are talking. And so, is there any little issue that you've got that you wanted to bring up today?
Oh, should we just go with my usual?
Yep. Which is the
Yeah, being a giver, I'm desiring to receive. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. All right, so let's see what comes up. Normally we would do a goal in a full session and we
Mm,
work through, but
yeah.
just as a quick little demonstration, chakra is coming up. So I just want to see what's going on with your chakras. And in fact, your heart chakra is closed. It's closed to receiving. Yeah, why do you think there's a closeness there? Because you've got a lot to give.
Yeah.
Why are you
Yeah.
not receiving?
Yeah. I think what's coming in is, and this is quite a common one too, is because the receiving that I desire is for the mission,
Mhm.
and it's a little like scared, like the next, expanding and evolving is scary. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And Heart Place Hospital is all about the heart too. So
Right. Yeah.
yeah, this is
Yeah.
your all right. So there is an emotion behind this heart chakra. Let me just find what that is. So I've got emotion charts that I'm testing through, and your body is telling me what what it wants to bring up today. It's the word purposeful.
Mhm.
It's purposeful in life. So what does that mean to you?
Mm.
Wanting to be purposeful, not feeling like you're purposeful enough?
I think what's coming is kind of integrating that into like what's coming up for me is so much of my life it's been, there's been a segregation between personal and professional, whereas now I'm finding that there is no there is no difference. It's the
Yeah.
same. um, so I know for me that's been a tricky one to let go of and
Mm,
embrace.
mhm.
I
Yeah.
want to, I desire it,
Yep.
but it's something that just shows up every now and then. It's kind of like a bit of grief for
Yeah.
what I've
Right.
built to what is now. Yeah.
And so is there an integration of those two worlds that's needed then?
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I feel that. I feel these the last shakes of the letting go, which I'm, I've let go of so much. So it's just literally the last little
Yeah.
bits.
Yeah.
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 So
Great.
yeah.
All right, so to clear this, we're going to do a really simple technique. So there's two points on your head that I'm going to get you to hold. You could actually hold it with a flat hand if
Hmm.
that's easier. So
Hmm.
these are emotional stress release points, which
Hmm.
help bring the blood to the front of the brain
Hmm.
where your creative thinking is.
Okay.
So I want you to tune into that heart that needs integrating and bringing everything together.
Hmm.
Tell me what you see and feel with that.
What I'm seeing is like an old TV that's like
Mm,
it's scattered, like when the TV when it's got disturbance. I'm saying that's what I'm seeing.
yeah, so you're in static.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Which is often the transition period. We go from
Mm,
one stage to the next, and there's a little bit of static in between.
yeah. Yeah. I
Right?
feel that.
Yeah. Okay. So, what's going to help you move from that static into that new area, which everything is integrated and purposeful?
The message I'm getting is actually breathe. Breathe.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Right. So, I want you to use your breath and I want you to breathe into your heart. And I want you to fill up your heart place with the cleansing.
Yeah. And that static's going.
Yeah. Good. Yeah. And so what would you like to replace it with in the breath? Is there a color or a symbol that you're going to breathe into that heart place?
I'm getting a beautiful green, actually.
Beautiful. Okay, fill
Yeah,
it up. And that's your nature that you love too, isn't it?
yeah, it is. My medicine.
Yeah, fantastic. All right, does it fill up easily or are there any places it doesn't
Actually,
go?
very easy,
Yeah.
which is like, I'm like, this is too easy.
Yeah, cool. All
Yeah.
right. Is there anything else you feel like you need to do, that visualization?
No, no standout, lots of green.
Right.
And yeah, I feel like actually feel really proud is kind of coming up because I'm
Mm.
so used to breathing down into my abdomen, and it's like, oh, I've just filled my heart up, my heart place up. That's really,
Ah,
yeah,
beautiful.
yeah.
Fantastic. All right, you can take your hand away and we're going to check that heart chakra. It's looking good, feeling good, looking good. Yep. And the emotion is purposeful and that is also cleared. So that's got that. And I can see the channel of energy through all your chakras
Mm,
is really clear
yeah,
now.
yeah,
So
yeah,
that
yeah,
was just disturbing the channel, but yep, you got it all happening now.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, and it just, I mean, it just makes sense. And when you experience it yourself, it just makes so much sense that when you're in flow, then the rest of your life can be in flow. And I did a podcast this week, and I talked about how for many years, decades,
Mm.
I was my body literally just transported my head around.
Yeah.
I didn't drop into my body at all.
Mm.
And then probably a lot of spiritual bypassing was even above my my body, which I know when I work with you, we work on that too. This is where this is so important is remembering that we're matter. We're a
Yes.
physical being
Yep.
walking around this world, and this is where I just so passionate about this mission with Heart Place Hospital. If when we support our frontline workers to experience this, then the ripple effect is just phenomenal. Rather than working with one person at a time, we're actually working with that one person like you just did with me.
Mm.
But it ripple effects off to 30, 40 people, and then the 30, 40 people that those 30, 40 people connect with. So,
I totally agree.
yeah.
Yeah, that's been a journey for me too, the being embodied, and it's such an important part of being a practitioner
Mm,
because that's how you fulfill your purpose. You know, your soul wants to be in the body and living that purpose. So,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, so
Yeah. And I think you'll probably agree with me when you are living on purpose, in purpose,
mm,
and in alignment, then all the magic and miracles do come to you,
yep,
and because
agree.
that's that's humanity, right? It's
Yeah,
the magic of humanity is sharing those gifts.
mm,
So yeah. Oh, thank you so much, Abby. That's so cool, and I'm looking forward to my actual session tomorrow.
yes, yep. Good to see you then.
Yeah. So I just wonder if we could end with something that's coming up in your heart place
Mm,
and how people can find you.
yeah, yeah. For me, yeah, I think humanity coming together, and you talked about that ripple effect. And I think what I can see with a lot of people is judgments of self, but also of others. And usually judging others comes from judging yourself quite harshly. We all have that inner critic. Um, but yeah, I feel like with humanity, if we can dissolve that need for judgment and be more accepting, then the ripple effect is going to be
Mm,
even bigger and more profound. And this is humanity coming together instead of, dividing. And we saw through COVID times there was a real divide.
mhm.
Um, but we really need to come together at this time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
beautiful. And where can we find you?
Yes, you can find me in Waipu at my clinic here or online, and my website, abbymounterkinesiology.com. And yeah, come see
Yay.
me.
Oh, thank you so much, Abby,
You're
and
welcome.
thank
Thank
you so
you.
much for being part of our community.
So much
And
gratitude for you, Jackie. Thank
oh,
you. And your ripples.
yeah, yeah, totally. It's cool. It's so cool. And I will see you tomorrow for my session. Take care.